Friday afternoon. Hope everybody's doing really well and has had a great week. It's September the 1st. I don't know how this is happening. I actually feel like I was driving around today and it's still super hot here in Atlanta. I don't know about where you guys are, but I'm actually seeing leaves fall from the trees. Are you guys seeing some of that? I actually saw that. I'm like, are we going from a super hot summer right into fall? I'm not sure. But I wanted to jump on here today because I have news. I just got this big box. Who can guess what's in the box? I am so excited because in the box is the book, the official book, not a galley, not a paperback edition, not a manuscript, but the actual book. And I couldn't be happier. So this book is The Hormone Shift. It's my fourth book. So excited and so honored to be doing this with Goop. I think that this is an issue that so many women really are confused about, right? You guys can nod for sure, but I think there's just so much information and so much confusion about this. And there's so much fear around hormone knowledge for whatever reason. And I think that's because people sort of get dismissed when they go in the exam room and they're not really given an opportunity to speak, or they're told things like, oh, no, your hormones have nothing to do with your health, or, your hormones don't need to be checked. How many people heard that? I heard that over 20 something years ago. I'm now 51, and this is still the same thing young women are hearing today. So we got to change this, guys. We got to change this. We want to create a movement. We want this book to be sort of the revolution that changes women's health, because it's been 15 years since I have been practicing integrative and holistic medicine. And the stories aren't changing, and people are still getting dismissed, still being told the exact same things that I was told when I was 25, 26, and 27 years old. And I really want it to end, and I want a new way for us to deliver care for women all over the world. So this is a global movement. This book will be everywhere, I guarantee you that. And I want each of you to use it like your hormone manifesto, to use it like a hormone Bible, to be able to literally go to the chapter that's relevant to you, to be able to take it to your doctor's appointments and be like, well, this is what I need checked, and be able to understand what your hormones are doing at any stage and at any age. Now, look, we talk a lot about women in perimenopause and menopause in the book, and there's a 30-day reset program as well. But the truth is, your hormone chemistry was actually set in childhood and puberty, and now you're seeing the ramifications of it. So this book is not just maybe for you if you're going through perimenopause and menopause. It's for your daughters, it is for your sisters, it's for your mom, because we really want folks to understand how hormone health is something that has to be monitored and tracked. And as women, it's tied to so many different aspects of our health. It's tied to our gut health, our brain health, our mood, how we sleep, the foods we're craving, our weight, so many different pieces of our health really tied to this. So I hope you guys check this out. It's The Hormone Shift. It's now available for pre-order. You can go anywhere that books are sold. But if you go onto my website, if you go to drtaz.com and enter in your receipt after you've purchased, we have all these great pre-order gifts, including my hormone guide that really, again, is like a mini version of really helping you get educated around your hormones and understand what to check. And in addition to that, also entry into my Superwoman Circle, which is my community. And in there, we are answering questions. We are posting new information and new guides. We do a monthly webinar and coaching session. And most importantly, it's a community of accountability, right? It's an opportunity to meet other women and really learn from them, and to really build and really stay motivated when it comes to managing and taking care of your health. So The Hormone Shift is out there. Please, please, please check it out and let me know what you think. I want you guys to pre-order it, and then we've got all kinds of events around it. And if you want me in your city, DM me. So we're doing a book tour. We're going to be headed to Atlanta, to New York, to LA. But if you'd like to see us in your city, let us know, because hey, we'll bring the book and all its knowledge and wisdom there as well, and really have an opportunity for women in your city to discuss this and really dive deep into all things hormones. So The Hormone Shift is here. Now, lots of hormone news too, by the way, not just to stay fixated on that, but there was an article out in the New York Times talking about how women of color experience menopause up to 10 years earlier than Caucasian and Asian women. And the thought is it may be related to their toxic load. Because remember, they're getting a lot of chemicals in through relaxers and all of these other things that they're using. And their baseline health may not be at a really good place for them to metabolize all the toxins that they're getting exposed to. So women of color really going into menopause earlier, and it's not getting addressed. No one's talking about it. So someone walks into menopause at 35, 36, 40, these younger ages versus the 50s, and even in your 50s, you still want to be proactive and really understand what's happening there. But someone's walking into menopause early, they have an earlier risk for, issues with bone health, issues with, brain health, having a lot of symptoms, anxiety, depression, a lot of mental health issues. And again, it's sort of being dismissed, or they get an anxiety prescription, or, even something like gabapentin. I see that being prescribed a lot. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but getting prescribed a lot for hot flashes and night sweats. Whereas instead, if we took the Eastern and Western approach to hormone balancing, then we would understand that diet, nutrients, gut health, the state of your liver and your toxic load are all influencing your ultimate hormone balance. So we really want to change, how women are being treated in the exam room. And for women too, the exam room is one issue, right? Doctors are one issue. And we've been talking about that problem for a while. We've been talking about it in the context of medical gaslighting. But actually, what we really want to understand is that it's not just about the medical provider, but it is also about sort of understanding that we have to be advocates for our own health. So again, that's why I wrote this, because I want you guys to be super educated and able to be advocates for your own hormone health. We're hearing so many things, right? You're told you can't check your hormones, or that your hormones don't matter after a certain age, or that birth control is the only option for certain things. None of that is true. When you turn to Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, some of these older systems of medicine, they really do have a beautiful natural plan, right? A holistic plan for helping you to balance your hormones overall. And that's what we're after. Not that we don't want to do hormones and hormone replacement therapy, but we understand that that comes in after you've had a healthy gut, a healthy liver, then you can layer on hormones. And typically you don't need a ton of hormone when you're doing that, just a very low dose amount of hormone, and you're on the right track. All right, as I continue to talk, if you guys would like to post your questions for me, we can take a few questions over the next few minutes. But I did want to bring up one other study other than the one on women of color. There was another one talking about menopause and the workplace. I don't know if any of you have experienced this before, that you are perceived differently or you are functioning differently because you are in menopause, and you're maybe having symptoms like brain fog or hot flashes or night sweats, and you're not performing at the level that you're used to performing. And there's been some talk about, do women in menopause, do they need certain, not rights is not the right word, but benefits, so certain benefits where they can get a certain amount of leave, or they can, take vacation more, or whatever it is. And while I think that's all great that we're recognizing and bringing attention to the issues around women and women's health, I really think the answer is for us to take ownership of our health and to really stay on top of it, so that we don't have to act or think or be different, right? I really believe all women, should be vital, should have energy, should be able to achieve kind of their health goals and their physical goals, without it being just sort of chalked up to like, okay, well, you're aging, you're getting old, this is just the way it's supposed to be. Simply not true. And that's what we want to change with everything that we're writing about and talking about, and even how you present yourself in the world. Here's the deal, right? Like, women are now living into their 80s and being super productive, right? Starting second careers. I meet incredible women. I have women that have gone to law school at 50, or who've started a business at 55, or whatever it is. And they can only do those things if they're feeling good, right? Otherwise, if you don't have energy or bandwidth, then you tend not to want to do those things, and you retreat, and you sort of like say, well, I'm too old, and society kind of plays into that. That is not the way things need to be. When you are hormonally balanced, you no longer, quote unquote, feel old, right? Patients tell me that all the time. I'm just getting old. I'm like achy. I can't sleep. Everything hurts. I can't think. I have no libido. These are things I keep hearing over and over again. It absolutely does not have to be that way. And please don't accept that as an answer moving forward. We really, really want to change that messaging and want to change that dialogue. Now that women are living to 80 rather than 60, right? There's so many options for feeling good and doing well. And it does start with how we take care of ourselves, but it is connected. And you guys have heard me, those of you who've been following me, you've been hearing me talk a lot about the 5 bodies, right? How our entire health is connected, our emotional health, our physical health, our mental health, our spiritual health. Here's the deal. When your hormones aren't balanced, these other areas of your health are impacted. So your mental health falls off, your emotional health falls off. Energetically, you're not bringing the right things into your life, right? So this is a conversation about getting the physicality of you correct, but also getting all the other areas of your life lined out. And that's exactly what we're working on. This my hormone masterclass is in full session right now. We'll probably start it back up again after this one ends. But that's a lot of what we're working through, is like, where's your physical chemistry? How does that then play into your emotional health? How does that also play into your mental health? Where does all of this come together? How is it driving some of the decisions that you're making on any given day? What job you're going to take, what you're going to eat, what relationship you're going to be in, the things that are working for you. Are you able to say yes or no to certain situations? All of these things are intricately connected. And I would say that this book is a success if everybody can walk away understanding, first of all, who they are, what their dominant hormone pattern is, how to care for it, and then how to then move beyond just talking about hormones to really connecting it to so many other aspects of what's going on in their lives. So that's my hope for the book, and I hope you guys will check it out and pre-order it. Over the next few weeks, you're going to see a busy schedule over the next few weeks. You might actually get tired of me, but we have tons of events. We have a lot going on. We're going to be in a lot of different cities, and we'll be talking about this and talking about your experience with your health and with your hormones and how that might have impacted your life. I am so passionate about this because it changed the course of my life, right? I mean, I got into integrative medicine and holistic medicine, not because I set out on like this magical career path with a beautiful business plan saying this is what I'm going to do. It was really because of my health. And that story was very connected to losing hair, to having acne, everyone telling me I'm fine, me not being able to get the answers, and then getting super frustrated and angry and saying, I've got to fix this myself. In fact, I was rereading the book, and there's a line in here that's very specific and says, I have to fix this myself. And that's really what has propelled my entire career in integrative and holistic medicine. I don't want you guys to walk the journey that I walked. It took me 3 to 5 years to figure out what was going on with me, and God knows how many years of not feeling good about myself and sort of retreating and feeling shameful. There is no reason for anyone to be in that space anymore. We've got so much information. I would say the challenge of today is that there's a lot of information, but there's no cohesiveness, right? There's not a medical team that thinks this way. There's not information that's sort of assimilated and kind of put into one place. And that is what I have done in this book. Whether it is Eastern medicine or herbs or Western conventional medicine and hormones, you will understand all the different thoughts and sort of philosophies around hormone balancing and hormone health, and you'll be able to put those pieces together, and they'll hopefully begin the journey of you customizing that routine and that plan for you. Because at the end of the day, our hormones are a superpower. If you own them and track them and understand them and individualize them to you, you will be dynamite. You will be feeling amazing, and you will not need to do so many of the heroic things people put themselves through to feel good. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Let's see if we've got a couple of questions. We can take those. Otherwise, I will give you guys your Friday afternoon back and keep you posted on all my adventures. I believe I'm in LA next week. We've got a lot of speaking events, and just follow me as we continue to really spread the information around hormones and hormone health across the globe. This is a global mission, guys. It's not just based here in Atlanta and not just the United States. This is going around the world. All right, do we have questions?
All right, our first question is about brain fog.
Okay.
Do you have any recommendations for someone experiencing brain fog as they're entering perimenopause?
Brain fog is a common complaint in perimenopause and menopause. There's a reason. Brain fog is usually happening for two particular reasons. First of all, progesterone levels are dropping. Pregnenolone, which is a progesterone derivative, is dropping as well. Pregnenolone is directly responsible for brain fog. In fact, there have been studies that have used pregnenolone even in men to help with prevention of dementia and Alzheimer's. So the drop in progesterone and pregnenolone is typically the explanation. But the other part of brain fog is that many women entering perimenopause and menopause can't sleep. They can't fall asleep. They can't stay asleep, and their brain doesn't rest. So they walk around feeling foggy all the time. So that's the other big reason for brain fog. So hopefully that helps. And in practice, when we're looking at some of these levels, we're trying to correct pregnenolone if it's helpful. And again, this is all in the book, but we're trying to correct pregnenolone to around a level of about 30 to 40. So we'll often start patients on about 10 milligrams or so to begin with, and then work our way up.
All right, we have another question from someone entering perimenopause. They're experiencing lots of anxiety. Is this normal?
Oh my goodness, yes, it's normal. Perimenopause and anxiety go together. I have met, let me backtrack on I have experienced this for sure, where all of a sudden the slightest stressor, usually I have a pretty good stress bandwidth, right? And all of a sudden, especially at a certain time of the month, like my stress bandwidth starts to go down, everything starts to get on my nerves, I get agitated super easily, and I'm never one to externally show my stress, right? I can internalize most of it, but literally it's like I start to get heart palps, I can't sleep, I get the 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning wake up. It's usually, thankfully for me, not more than about a day or so. But why is that happening? It's because progesterone levels have dropped, right? That's usually the number one reason. And when progesterone drops, then you see the spike in cortisol, which is the 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning wake up. So in my 20s, when I was having my health issues, and as I told you, I had a lot of hormone issues back then, I actually had to go on progesterone, bioidentical progesterone. I was in a state, and this is where I love Eastern medicine so much, I was in a state of depletion. And depletion, according to Chinese medicine, means you don't even have the raw materials to make hormones. So a young woman, 25, 26, 27, shouldn't need, hormone support. But if you've burned the candle at both ends, if you have not eaten correctly, if you have not taken care of yourself correctly, if you've undergone a lot of trauma, right, or stress or emotional drain, your hormones crash. And so mine had. So I had needed bioidentical progesterone at that time. Now as I'm going into my 50s, I'm needing it again. And it actually does help me sleep through the night, but more importantly, calms down some of this anxiety or diminished stress bandwidth, as I like to call it, that happens in perimenopause.
Okay, we have one final question.
Okay.
What
Perfect.
are your thoughts on being on the pill in your mid-40s? Is it helping or is it hurting?
Being on the pill in your mid-40s. Are a lot of you on the pill in your mid-40s? I'm curious. I know we have people joining in from around the world. I'm curious if care is the same no matter where we look. But here's my thought. If you need birth control, you truly need birth control, you're having regular cycles, you're not wanting to get pregnant, then yes, you do have to think about birth control, whether that's an IUD or whether it's a pill. But if you're using the birth control, you and your provider are using the birth control to balance your hormones, I don't subscribe to that at all. I'd rather you balance your hormones holistically, looking at gut health, liver health, nutrition, looking at different herbs that will help you do that, but not using birth control for hormone balance. So that's where the roads sort of split. But if you need birth control, I tell young women, right? We have so many super young women going off to college or starting their lives, and they truly need birth control. So then the challenge is finding a birth control pill that's appropriate for them. So we have to look at the levels of progestin, for example, in the pill, and then also nutritionally repleting them. The birth control, guys, is depleting. I don't know if people realize that. Nobody talks about it. With the birth control pill, you actually lose nutrients. You lose vitamin A, you lose your B vitamins, you lose vitamin C, you're typically low in glutathione. So all of these things have to be repleted, or this idea of depletion just persists. So young women go on the birth control pill at 13, 14, 15 for PCOS or irregular periods. They hit their 20s, guess what's happened? They're already depleted. So then they go into busy college, stressful careers, they're running, they're burning the candles at both ends. Still no one's mentioned, hey, by the way, you might be in a state of depletion. No talk about that. The depletion continues. They hit their 30s, they're trying to get pregnant. Now it's difficult to get pregnant because they're depleted. They're not building the hormones they need. Depletion continues, no addressing of that, no conversation around that. You hit your 40s and your 50s and you're crashed out, which is why you feel like an alien a lot of the times. So again, if we bring the Eastern wisdom and knowledge about women's health and hormones and all the ways things are connected, not separate, and we marry it to sort of Western medical literature, labs, technology, everything that we have there, you have a powerhouse tool, quite honestly, for, redirecting the course of your health and ultimately the course of your life. So yes, I think all these things need to be checked and we need to be thinking about it. But birth control in your 40s, again, you need birth control, different conversation. You're using it for hormone balance, not the same thing. All right, I think that's all our questions, right? Okay, guys, well, thank you so much for following me. I know today we're on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Really appreciate everyone's interest in this topic, really wanting to spread this and help women everywhere. And remember, share all of this. It's not just for you, it's for every woman you know. So I have a 15-year-old daughter. I want her to know this. I want her friends to know this. I want, people in their 60s and 70s to understand this. And of course, everyone going through perimenopause and menopause, really important to understand what's happening with your health and not feeling like you're going crazy. I had a patient just yesterday who burst into tears in the exam room because she literally feels like an alien. She's getting upset at things she never got upset about before. She feels horrible, doesn't feel good in her body. It doesn't have to be that way. All right. So check out the book. The Hormone Shift is here and ready for pre-order. Follow me. We've got lots of great things coming up in the weeks ahead, and I'll keep you guys posted. Have a great week. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Have a good long weekend, and happy September 1. Take care.